Back in second year of high school, I believe, there was some new kid in our class called Emmanuel. I didn't think much of it, and I didn't really talk to him. I don't entirely know how it brewed up, it's been quite a while, but one thing led to another, and for some odd reason, he just had this resentment towards me. This guy I've never even talked to, it was weird. He started trying to trip me up in class. It was very annoying. And I did what all of the teachers recommend you do. You know, don't fight back if somebody annoys you. Ignore them. If you ignore them, eventually they'll stop. So I just tried to ignore this person. Eventually, though, it got to a point where it was just too much. I was walking to the buses about to go home, like school buses. And on my way there, he kept trying to trip me up. He was like stealing my accessories. He was insulting me. And I had enough. And I said, I don't entirely know what I said, but I said something along the lines of, "You're gay for trying to touch another guy." Because he was literally touching me, bro. And it was fucking weird. Now, if you understand anything, you'd understand it's probably not a good idea to let somebody touch you. Like, this guy was physically touching me and I didn't even do anything. Because none of the teachers helped, and I was always raised by like the government. We live in this society where the government literally raised you more than your parents. So I was this good kid. I wouldn't fight somebody. That's a bad thing to do, right? You shouldn't hurt people. This guy got enraged by the fact that I called him gay. And you know what he did? Whilst I was walking to the buses, so my back was turned to him. I was trying to ignore him the best I can. And I kept walking. What he did actually surprised me. He swung back fully and he punched me as hard as possible on my jaw. If you know anything about boxing, you'd know the jaw is like the weakest part. Like if you get punched really hard on the jaw, it's over. You are done. You immediately get knocked out. It hurt a lot, but I didn't get knocked out at all because he's a weakling. That's the truth. So I took it like a fucking tank. He punched me again. My back is still turned. I'm still trying to just walk away. I'm following the advice to a T. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. No one around me is helping me. Everyone is just ignoring the situation. I'm getting punched in real time. He punches me again. Straight in the same place on the jaw. Now my jaw is tensed up because I was of course, I got punched. Of course, I'm going to tense up my jaw after that. He couldn't knock me out. So I was objectively stronger than him. I could have fought back and I know I would have won. If somebody punches you in the jaw twice and it was like a full swing back and he was doing that and he can't knock you out and he fails, you are stronger than that person objectively. And I didn't fight back at all. Why? Because we are literally trained to be docile from like the school system. Don't talk in class. Don't talk to people. That's bad. Stop talking in class, John. Don't fight back if somebody bullies you. Just tell the teachers. Just tell the teachers. I was telling the teachers constantly. I didn't talk in class. I was a good kid. Didn't help at all. The advice that teachers give is the worst fucking advice you'd hear on the planet. The worst advice. And can you blame teachers for this? Absolutely. But I'll also tell you this. The teachers can't do anything to help you because what will they do? They can't hit a kid. What are they going to tell his parents? The parents that are already aware of his behavior, because no kid acts like that by accident. The parents already know. And if he's willing to do that, it doesn't matter if his parents get mad because of it. Who cares? Well, are they going to suspend him for a few days? Boo-hoo. I'm safe for a few days. Boo-hoo. Ha-ha. Thank you. Now he comes back a few days with more resentment. It's not going to help at all. And imagine this, you're getting punched in real time. Like you're trying to stop tears coming out from your eyes. And everyone is just walking past you, literally ignoring the situation. You'd expect somebody to help. No one did. You are all alone on this planet. Understand that. No one is coming to save you. You could be getting punched in real time in public. Like you often get the advice if somebody is following you, go to a public area. Don't go home. Which is obviously true. You could be getting attacked in public. No one would save you. People will just stand back and watch. No one is trying to help you. No one cares about you at all. And you need to live your life trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. At least moderately. You don't want to get to the point where you're like building your own farm because you don't want to buy things from shops. That's kind of just a fucking stupid move. But you need to be able to defend yourself. It's extremely important. Very. You understand? Because the teachers aren't going to help you. They literally tell you to not fight back and be docile. They want you to basically act like a girl. It's not helpful at all. At all. Everything we see is basically just trying to program us into being these like docile little level 0 social NPCs, these weirdos who can't fight back. And if you fight back, guess what happens? You get in trouble more. You literally get in trouble for fighting back. The bully doesn't get in trouble. It doesn't make any sense. You get in more trouble for fighting back. It completely fails. It's a logic fail. But it's not, because the thing is they want you to be like this. It's made to be like this. This is why the systems are set in this specific way. You think it can't be possibly fixed with the billions upon billions of dollars that the school system has? Of course it can. So if you, I'm assuming you're getting bullied. If you aren't, then, I mean, maybe you're just watching this to be prepared. So I'll tell you exactly how to get away from the idea of being bullied, because there's a specific way to do this. Because I haven't been bullied in quite a while now, after I've implemented a lot of these. I also want you to just visualize this. The peace, the solace that you'll feel knowing that there's zero way of you being bullied at all just because you've implemented everything I've told you. Imagine that. Maybe you're kind of at fear, you know, people in class are kind of being a little rude. You fear it could erupt to something. Imagine how you'd feel, how more confident you'd be knowing that you go to this environment every day and there's no chance of being bullied and everyone actually enjoys your company because you're such a bright person. The girls are kind of looking at you. Who is this guy? Why is he so confident? The guys are kind of surprised. Because you're just so like, you're in your own body now. You aren't worried about the possibility of getting bullied. You're confident now. I think that's something you really want. And if you saw my eyes, I was kind of looking down. I'm not looking at a script. I'm looking at points, at bullet points on what I'm going to talk about. I hope you didn't pause, because then you would have just gone the entire video immediately. So, I'll tell you why you get bullied. You get bullied because you are a target. It's the truth. You get bullied because you're a target. If everyone in the class loved you and everyone was kind of talking to you, the bully would kind of be like, oh, this guy is probably pretty high in the social hierarchy. I don't want to mess with him. I don't want like other people in the class to dislike me. You understand that? You are a target because you are kind of this like little anxious guy at the back of the classroom. Of course you're going to get bullied. You're easy. It's like dogs. Dogs will often like peck at each other, see who's like the weak dog, and then they'll basically bully that one dog. It happens in everywhere. You need to be at the top of the social hierarchy so people respect you enough to not even consider you a target. And there is a social hierarchy, whether you want to believe it or not. I often forget that people have different beliefs. People don't understand that there are some people who are better than others. So I say it like you won't have these limiting beliefs thinking everyone is equal. I just say it thinking that, yeah, you're going to agree with me. This, of course you will. But I'll explain this to you because you probably do have some limiting beliefs. Not everyone is equal. When you go in a room, there is the best people in the room and there is the worst. If you go in a room with tons of jacked millionaires who are extremely social, you are the worst in the room. Everyone is looking at you thinking, who the hell is this guy? No one knows you. You aren't rich. You have no stories. You aren't jacked. Who are you? What's wrong with you? Why you don't even belong here, bro. There is a social hierarchy and there are levels to it. Just as in your friend group, there's somebody who initiates all the events. He's like the group leader. He is the top of this hierarchy of social life, of your social life. And then there's you, who's maybe in the middle of it, at the bottom, whatever. Because there's a social hierarchy and everyone kind of sets every single person into a level of the social hierarchy, just subconsciously. Like no one is consciously thinking, okay, he's at this level of the social hierarchy. Okay, he's at this level. But you can kind of tell the people you're above and below in your class. Like there's probably some guy who's kind of weird. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't seem like he does anything. He's kind of fat as well. And you kind of think, okay, I'm above that person. There's probably a few who come to your mind. So you already know there's a social hierarchy. There is an order of who's a pecking target. And you need to get as high up as possible because as you get higher, more and more people respect you. So you're liked more in the school. More girls like you as well. When you are more social and more people respect you, of course girls will like you. And also, you're less of a target. So it is just an overwhelmingly positive thing to do to become at the highest echelon of your social hierarchy. How do you do this then? If everything towards being bullied is basically about the social hierarchy, how do you get to the top? I can give you these things that are obviously important. You need to become physically imposing and dominating, like build a body that you're proud of. You can't afford to be fat or skinny, especially skinny. Skinny is like the worst because now you're just weak. Get into the gym, search up tutorials on doing that. You also need to do good habits, be a healthy person. As you're healthier, your mental health will improve, you'll be happier, people will be more receptive to you, rather than if you're always upset and mad. Have a goal, a passion, play a sport in the school and get well known in that sport, be very good at it. Or maybe if you don't want to do a sport, have some goal, maybe it's business. I really am passionate about business. I think it's the only way you'll actually become financially successful because a job really isn't what's going to help you with that. There's all of these different things you can do. Meditation, affirmations, improve your self-belief. That's great. But what I think is even more important is just actually socializing. Genuinely, how do you expect to be at the top of a social hierarchy without socializing? You need to talk to people. So literally, talk to everyone in your class. Talk to everyone in the school. Be polite, be respectful. And once you do that, everyone will kind of know you. And every single video on this channel is attributed to learning how to socialize. If you want to do this even quicker for less than the price of a pizza, basically, then I would recommend check the top link in the description. It's like a community of people who are like you. If you're looking at what I'm saying and you look at how I position myself, you can kind of tell who I am. You can kind of tell, okay, I talk in more of a brash manner. You know, I don't sugarcoat things. I talk the way it actually is. I'm very realistic about how things work. You need to talk to people to get people in your life and people to respect. Of course, I care about masculinity. You can kind of just guess these things by looking at who I am. If you have similar values to me, and you have similar values to the people in the community, I'd recommend you join it because then you will meet like-minded people and you can actually meet them in real life because there's like a map feature to see the people who are near you, which is, I think, a great thing. And of course, there's also the courses section that teaches you exactly how to socialize in this neatly packaged format. So learn to socialize, talk to people, or just watch every video on this channel teaches you how to do it. Learn how to socialize. Once you can socialize, guess what happens? Everyone starts looking at you more. Everyone knows you. You're just that one social guy who everyone knows and respects. when you get to that level, everything changes. If you talk to everyone in your school, are you really thinking that? Do you really believe if you talk to everyone in your school, not a single one of them will want to be your friend? Not a single one of them will like you at all. Even if you're the weirdest person in the school and you probably like burn ants for fun, you can probably guess that at least some of them will want to be friends with you just because, you kind of have similar beliefs a little bit. Maybe they just find you funny. Same with girls, you'll probably get a girlfriend for the first time. So you need to learn to be social, and of course it's difficult, and that's why it's going to take a little bit. You'll need to slowly build up and learning how to do this. But once you do, you'll immediately jump the social hierarchy, and it's so incredibly important. You need to just be social so you can get to the top. Once you're at the top, you'll have all of these friends, and of course, if you're a guy who's overwhelmingly social, you have all of these friends who would defend you if there was like a bully who tried to attack you. Of course, people are kind of going to be afraid of seeing you as a target. It won't even register in the mind. They pick the easiest prey first. Something to note is that it is kind of chance. Even though you can get to the top of the social hierarchy and there's a very low chance you'll get bullied, there still is the chance. So I want to give you something in those very rare scenarios. You need to fight back. Ignore all of the repercussions. I used to not fight back because I was always afraid that if I fought back, I'd get in trouble. If I fought back, what if they come back because they are really mad at me and they bring a weapon? That could happen. I'm not going to lie to you. But would you rather be bullied for years and then you're traumatized because of it and your entire adult life is changed in a negative way? Or would you rather fight back and have that risk? People die for this stuff, bro. People will literally go in gunfights because somebody insulted their own mother. If you aren't willing to die for your beliefs, then I guess that's just something you need to think about. It's not for me to decide. But I think it's quite cowardly to let somebody literally punch you and do absolutely nothing. You need to fight back. Ignore the repercussions for a second. You probably won't even go to jail simply because when you're kids and you're fighting, it's kind of just seen as a fight between kids. If you're an adult, then you kind of need to be carefuler. But at the same time, you aren't forced to see the same people every day. You most likely won't get bullied as an adult. So it's kind of easier. When you're going to the same environment, you need to set boundaries, firm boundaries. Don't shout at people, but set your boundaries very clearly. And fight verbal with verbal. If somebody says verbal insults at you, fight verbally, fire with fire. Say, I don't like that, that's very rude, don't say that again. And even insult them, joke about them. Don't be this guy who's just ignoring it. That's the worst thing you could do. The next worst thing you could do is somebody insults you verbally and then you start fighting them. You probably shouldn't do that either. Fight verbal with verbal. If somebody makes an insulting joke at you, make an insulting joke back. They may get annoyed, but haha, fuck you. Don't insult me, bro. I don't know what you expect me to say. You should fight fire with fire in scenarios like this. If somebody touches you, bro, that's fucking weird. You should fight back, or at least jump away. No one should touch you. And here's what I'll recommend. I'll give you autistic steps. If somebody physically touches you in a way you really don't like, and it's there's animosity behind it, then here's what you do. If you want to fight back, if you think it's at the level where you need to fight back, if they are close enough, then elbow them like this. I know it's kind of weird to give self-defense tips, but the elbow to a chin is the most damaging thing you can do to somebody. Most of the time, it's the reason why Muay Thai is one of the most destructive combat styles, because they incorporate elbows. So if they are really that close to you to the point where you can elbow them, then of course it's their own fault, obviously. So that's how you defend yourself. You don't really need to be in martial arts. If you want to, that's good. It's good for you. But street fights and martial arts are a lot different. Just having physical strength and being imposing is good enough to win against most people. Being tall, sleep well, eat well, drink milk, you'll be tall. It's quite easy. If you're healthy and you're strong, you don't need martial arts. It's still good to get into, I'm not saying not to. But don't really worry about like the specific combat styles or whatever. Most likely you won't even need to get into a fight. But this is just for the very rare scenarios, because I don't want you to be like me, where you've been put in a situation where someone is literally punching you and you're doing nothing about it. That's like such a fucking idiotic thing to do. I don't know why I did it either. So fight back. Verbal with verbal. If somebody pokes jokes at you, poke jokes back at them. Doesn't matter how they feel about it. I remember back in the day, people would constantly talk about how, like, yeah, I fucked your mom last night, bro. This was just something people talked about. Even though they they were complete virgins, bro. It just happened, bro. You need to just not be as soft. The world is becoming softer, and if you are soft, you still won't win. Being soft is the losing mental model. You need to be strong. I'm at a point where people are literally racist. They say the N-word. I just find it funny now, bro. LOL, the N-word. Haha. It's not even... I used to see it as offensive until I realized, wait a second. It's just a word. And it doesn't really matter. And when people say the N-word, it's not really anything personal towards me. Like, it doesn't really tell anything about me. So why would I be offended by the N-word? If someone called me a three-legged alien, I wouldn't be, how dare you? How dare you call me a three-legged alien? What am I trying to prove? Am I a three-legged alien? Am I trying to, like, I guess I do have 3 legs. So, you need to fight back. And you don't want to get like super offended with what people say. Just poke back at them and don't be soft, because being soft is the worst thing you could possibly be. It's extremely important, and I hope you listen to this and you just keep this in mind. Remember, actually, check top link in the description, and now remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.